Welcome to another Stardew Valley video. In this video, I will be ranking all of the farm layouts in the game. Before I start this video, this is completely subjective and it is only a matter of opinion. This video's purpose is to potentially help newer players pick a farm layout. At the end of the day, all of the layouts are good and completely up to your personal opinion. Which farm layout is your favorite and why? Please let me know in the comments below. I wonder how much your views differ from mine. Alrighty, let's get started with number 7 on the list, the Riverland Farm. The Riverlands Farm, to me, is by far the most intricate and strange layout out of all of them. It looks like there's a ton of wasted space on this layout, but it's quite similar to the size of the forest farm in terms of plantable crop space. But that doesn't change that the Riverland Farm looks extremely random, and there is more water on this farm than land. Naturally, the Riverlands Farm has plenty of potential, but you will definitely have to get creative to make this farm look good or function efficiently. This farm layout does have the added advantage of being able to catch fish at a much higher rate than the other farms. You can catch river fish as well as intercept forest fish directly on your farm. While this is a fun added bonus, you could just catch the fish in the regular spots, so it isn't enough to redeem the river farm in my opinion. Number 6 is the beach farm. If you are not new to my channel, then this is probably a huge surprise because I actually love this farm layout in the game. However, the beach farm has a unique restriction. You cannot place any sprinklers on any of the beach sand, meaning you will be considerably restricted in the amount of crops that you can grow. This restriction is actually incredibly fun because it forces you into being extra creative and coming up with ways to make money without just growing tons of crops. There's a small 10 by 20 area where you can use sprinklers, but that is really not much at all. I would not recommend that new players play on the beach farm as it is geared more towards seasoned players. But it's definitely a beautiful farm and has tons of potential for those of you looking to decorate. The beach farm also has these supply crates that wash up on shore and will give you plenty of useful things like bombs, food, and even retaining soil. While this is a cool addition, not being able to place sprinklers is too much of a restriction for newer players. In 5th place, we have the Wilderness Farm. The Wilderness Farm is a strange one. The actual layout is not bad. I think there is way too much water on this layout. Unfortunately, this results in having less space to place buildings and plant crops. But if we ignore the loss of space, the layout does look really good in my opinion. But that is not really the point of this farm layout. During night, monsters will spawn on your farm and attack the player. I don't think the enemies are that tough to defeat, but they might be a little bit challenging in the early game. Pick this layout if you are looking for a unique challenge and something very different. It is important to note that any farm can have monsters spawning on it. However, on this layout, you will see more monsters than on any other farm layout. Unfortunately, since monsters can spawn on any layout, it makes the Wilderness Farm less unique and maybe not as appealing as the other layouts. And then 4th place, the Hilltop Farm. The Hilltop Farm was actually the first layout I ever picked when I just started playing the game. So it has a very special place in my heart because of that. This layout has a smaller farmable area than some of the others, but it makes up for it with a very unique design that has different elevations, a river running through it, and its very own dedicated mini quarry. I think you can truly make a very unique and interesting looking farm on this layout. It's the elevation and the natural river separation that make it really stand out. I might have called it mini quarry, but it's actually very effective at giving you a decent amount of stone and sometimes ores. It will replenish between 7 and 13 items every 4 days, making it very effective at being a decent source of raw materials in the early game. In the late game, once you don't need the quarry anymore, you can just place a bunch of machines all over the quarry area and use it for something else if you wanted to. Third place goes to the Four Corners Farm. The Four Corners Farm. I won't lie, I actually really like this farm layout. First of all, it is absolutely huge. You can plant close to 3,000 crops on this layout if you wanted to, which is actually quite impressive. This farm layout is unique because it divides your farm up into 4 quadrants, probably making it the best layout for co-op where each player can have their own area to farm on. If you're playing solo, there is definitely still a good reason to use this layout because you can logically separate things around on your farm. Like the bottom left corner can house all of your farm animals and the top left can hold crops. I like this symmetrical separation and the Four Corners farm layout does this better than any other layout. It is also the second largest farm, so that automatically makes it quite good for new players and returning players. Forest Farm is in second place. The Forest Farm seems very big, but it's a little bit smaller than the Hilltop Farm in terms of plantable space for crops and buildings. This is mostly due to the 4 pools of water on the farm that end up taking quite a bit of space. You can also not grow crops on the green grass, making it look big when it is actually quite small. This layout has an extra bonus feature that no other farm layouts has. There are 8 large stumps of hardwood that will actually respawn. On all of the other farm layouts, once you have harvested the hardwood on your farm, it is gone forever. The Forest Farm is the only layout where the hardwood will respawn effectively, giving you an infinite supply right there on your farm. The Forest Farm is also the only farm where you can find a bunch of random forageables on the farm area with the hardwood stumps. It might seem insignificant, but this makes this layout just really good. Quite often, I forget to go and collect hardwood in the secret woods, but since the hardwood is right over here on my farm, it is much easier to remember to do it. Suddenly realizing you need 200 hardwood when you have 10 is very painful. I am sure this came as no surprise, but the standard farm is in first place and it deserves that top spot. The standard farm layout is undeniably the largest farm layout in the game. It is almost 2 times the size of some of the other farm layouts and has almost nothing on the farm that would obstruct you from planting crops or placing buildings. This layout is the ultimate farm layout for new players because you can't really do anything wrong. And this is the best layout for people who want to become absolutely rich because you can grow 3,400 crops on this farm if you wanted to. This is a crazy huge amount of crops. Or you could build an insane amount of barns and get as many pigs as your heart desires. Yes, the standard farm layout is great at doing one thing, and that is being a large open space. But this farm layout has one major weakness. It is incredibly plain and uninteresting. Pick the standard farm layout for a large open space and pick any of the other farm layouts because they have a much more interesting design and the unique challenges they bring is worth it in my opinion. If we could pick the Ginger Island farm as our standalone farm, where do you think it would be on this list? It has the added advantage of being able to farm anything, any time of the year, but it is quite small and we cannot place buildings such as barns and coops on it, making it somewhat limited compared to the other farm layouts. Let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching this video. This was actually a very hard video to make. Actually, ranking the layouts is a very tough decision because I do think they're all good, but I get quite a few comments asking for this video, so I thought it was finally time to do it. If you liked this video, consider leaving a like, and hey, why not subscribe while you are at it? But for now, I will see you in the next video.